Hi, welcome to a video explaining how to use dgrumbler. So first thing we do is log in as a teacher. And when I'm in here, what I'm presented with is an overview of tasks that I've set any of the classes that I teach, which is a fantastic way to help me manage those tasks and remind me of when they are coming up, when they are due. What you see here is the due date for these particular tasks. But if I'm thinking about setting a task for a group of students in front of me right now, for example, what I'd really like to know is how much work they've already been set from their other classes. So what I would do then is select the actual class and I'll hit search, and now for the very first time ever I am now able to see what work they've been given from their other teachers. And this is really important to me now, because now it's going to put me in a better position about knowing when is the best time to perhaps set another task for them. So how does this calendar work? Okay, well, as a teacher I know that we are very time constrained. So what I needed to do with this tool is to make it very visual and to also make it a very fast process for us to be able to make a good decision about setting another task. So there's a few things I've added to allow that to happen. First of all, the calendar is color coded. There are three types of tasks, and the tasks represent the amount of time it would take to complete them and also the importance of the task. Green tells us that it's an assessment task. These are fairly substantial pieces of work that a unit of work would require you to complete. Perhaps it's an essay, perhaps it's an exam, perhaps it's something going towards a half-term report, or perhaps an end-of-year report. But what it really signifies on the calendar is that's not a good time to add another task on that particular day, because we want the students in each subject to perform their absolute optimum when they're doing an assessment. So if we add tasks around that date, then we are potentially compromising that performance, which is something that as a school and as a class we definitely don't want to do. Yellow is a mid-range task. It's a task that can take between 30 minutes and 2 hours. Again, fairly substantial piece of work, and again telling you that maybe that's not a great time to set something if the students have got a yellow task. Blue, on the other hand, is a much shorter range task, normally ranging between 5 and 30 minutes. So where you see only one blue, for example, on a particular date, it's kind of telling you that students are not going to be stressed out too much on that particular date if you add another task on there. So that's the first visual component to make a quick decision. The second thing is this idea of gating. Now, in each day we didn't want to overload the calendar with too much information, so on each day we restricted the number of tasks to 3. But when you see a number inside a bracket here, that tells you that that's how many more tasks on top of the 3 that have been set for that particular day. In this occasion it's 4. And what that does is, as that number increases, that again visually gives you a quick understanding of just how much work is likely to be affecting the class that you teach. The other gating is here on when you see the number on the right hand side of a subject, and what that tells you is that it's the same subject that has actually set a task. Now that's also useful because I know in this group, for example, that in fact all of my students come from 2 different English classes. So this tells me that both of those classes have got an English task now, and both of them have got a fairly substantial English task because it's a yellow one. So I get quite a quick understanding here on the 9th that that would not be a good time to set another task for my class because they've already got a fair bit of work on. If I want more information about a particular date, however, because this is a rough guide, what I would do then is click inside the day, and now I'm presented with some really powerful information. The first piece of information is this number here telling me how many students have actually been given that particular task. Underneath it tells me how long a teacher believes it should take to finish those tasks. Over here it tells me how many students have got at least one task, and then really importantly here, this number tells me how many students have got more than one task. And obviously that's really powerful, because as that number increases, so too does the likelihood of overloading my group if I decided to set another task, something of course I'm trying to avoid. If I want more information about a specific task, what I do is click inside the cell and I get this really cool tab view here. And this tells me the teacher who set the task. It tells me when it was set and when it's due, so it tells me how long they've had to complete it. It also tells me how many students may have already handed it in, which might also help me to make a better decision about whether or not it's a good time to set some more work. I can also see the actual task itself if I really wanted to find out. All in all now, what this has done is, within the span of about 45 seconds, I now am placed in a really strong position to know how much work the group in front of me have already got and whether or not it's a good time to set another task on a night that I was thinking of setting it on. And that is, of course, something that we have not been able to do before as teachers, and that's why I invented this tool.